Alright, so here's our presentation on ADHD, which is a low incidence disability. So, what causes ADHD? So there isn't 100% known thing that specifically will cause ADHD in everyone that has ADHD, but there are a few things that have been linked to it and can contribute to having ADHD. Some of these include genetics. It can be passed down through generations. It can also happen if they have a child gets a brain injury of some sort, or they're exposed to something in pregnancy or at a young age. Alcohol and tobacco use during a pregnancy can also contribute to it, as well as a premature delivery and a low birth weight. So there are about 6.1 million children who have been diagnosed with ADHD, and of those, there's more boys than girls. Boys are more likely to be diagnosed with it than girls are. So ADHD, it's a disorder marked by an ongoing pattern of inattention and or hyperactivity slash impulsivity. It interferes with functioning and development. Some things that you're going to see in your students or children that have ADHD are they're going to daydream a lot, they're going to forget and lose things, they're going to squirm, they're going to talk too much, they'll make careless mistakes, they have a hard time resisting temptation, have trouble taking turns, and have a difficult time getting along with others. There are two types of this disorder. The first one is predominantly inattentive. So in this case, the child or student, they have a hard time organizing their thoughts, their materials. They can't finish a task very well. It's hard for them to pay attention to details, to follow instructions or conversations. They're just easily distracted. Whereas the next one is predominantly hyperactive or impulsive. This is where the hyperness comes in when they can't sit still, they fidget a lot, they talk a lot, they have to constantly be doing something because it's hard for them to just sit there. And there can also be a mixture of both of these, where a student can be very forgetful and also hyper at the same time. So some of the challenges that you are going to face with a student with ADHD in your classroom is they're going to have a hard time paying attention to the lessons. They're going to have a hard time sitting still, and they're going to talk a lot. They might have a lot of behavioral issues as well. So some things to help these students is you can help them stay organized with the rules and routines. You're going to have to constantly remind them the things that they need to do because they can't remember. It's also been found that if you incentivize the students with a reward system, they also do well with that. You can also do a seating assignment with these students, making sure they're not by people that make them extra disruptive, and pair them with a good peer mentor or buddy. You also have to help them organize their thoughts, and you can use sticky notes, lists, flashcards as reminders for them. And then you just have to make sure to get them settled after any break or recess, just the transitions can be hard for them to get them refocused and ready to work. So on this side we have two pictures. So the one here on the left, they're both from John Hattie's research on the different influences on student achievement. They're found in his visible learning. So he did research about things that influence a student's achievement. So one thing that I found on here which was interesting is that he researched the ADHD and how it affects student achievement. So if we look here on the left, it has next to ADHD, it's a red dot, so it's negative 0.9. And what this means is in his research, he figured that 0.4 is 1 year's growth. So negative 0.9 means the student's going to lose 2 years of growth. And so if we look on the right here, with all the negatives in a list right here, ADHD is on the very bottom, and it is by far the biggest. Like, they kind of come close, but not really. ADHD is even below deafness and boredom. And And so it's a really big issue. These students are losing 2 years of growth if they don't have any help. With ADHD, they have a very hard time learning and understanding things. So they need help. And so right here on the left again, it has ADHD with treatment with drugs. And it's really interesting to look that it actually goes up. So it's 0.32, which is very close to 0.4. So it's almost about a year's growth. So if you think about it, it's almost like a 3-year difference. If they don't have any help or medication, they're going to fall back 2 years. But if they do get that help with some medication and treatment, they're going to go up a year or grow a year in knowledge. So it's very important to notice these symptoms in students and try to get them the help that they need. That means like contacting the parents, letting them know that these are what you're seeing, and try to help the parents to know how much this is impacting the students' learning in the day. So here are a list of the medications. So first, there is behavioral therapy that students can go through to help them strengthen these positive behaviors and be able to try and eliminate any problem behaviors. But there's also medications. There's two types. There's stimulants and non-stimulants. And stimulants are the best known. They're most widely used. And it helps students have fewer symptoms. And they're very fast acting as well. Whereas the non-stimulants, they don't work as quickly as the stimulants, but their effect can last for up to 24 hours. And so here on our last slide, we have some support and resources both for teachers, students, and their families. So the first one, for teachers, there is a good resource out there called Teaching Channel. It has a lot of useful videos on how to help these children with ADHD and things that you can do during class to help them. There's also a resource, it's called ADHD Awareness Month, and this website has some good downloads and posters that parents and families can download and learn more about ADHD and the effects that it has on students. And then for the students, you also have counselors, which can be of good help for them. They can give them some behavioral coaching on things that are appropriate and how to manage their behavior. So that is all we have for you. Thanks, guys.